Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So I'm going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So according to David Einstein from The Athletic, around 10 clubs have contacted David Carmo's representatives over a possible move. And some of the clubs are from the Premier League. Now, it said last week that Manchester United were interested in David Carmo. Obviously, he is a centre-half. Solskjaer's obviously looking for a left-sided centre-half. David Carmo is the age of 21. And he's got a release clause of around £36 million. He has got a contract with Braga until 2025. He only broke into Braga's first team back in January, and since then he's played around 20 odd games. He's been suspended, by the way, in the last couple of games. It said during the summer that Fiorentina and Roma were interested in him. So would you take him to Manchester United? Do you think he'd go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? But we need to offload either Phil Jones or Marcus Rojo to get this deal done. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, I want to delve into some news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So according to 90 Minute, Manchester United are going to go in for Jadon Sancho in January. And we are willing to copy Chelsea's structure to get a deal over the line. Now, there's still a chance Sancho could leave Dortmund next year. He was our number one priority target in the summer transfer window. Now, the main explanation why we didn't get Jadon Sancho is because we wasn't willing to meet Borussia Dortmund's asking price. Borussia Dortmund wanted £108 million. The asking price was a stumbling block because it did say during the summer transfer window that we agreed the personal terms. It said the agent fees and that had been agreed. And quite a few times during the summer transfer window, Fabrizio Romano was talking about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. So too was Christian Falk. And Sancho said a few times that he wanted to come to Manchester United. But you had Michael Zorg and Lucien Favre saying that Sancho would have been staying at Dortmund, which he obviously did stay at Dortmund. He's enjoyed a poor start to this season. Sancho's been at Dortmund now for over 3 years. I think this is his 4th season with them. He has got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund only paid $8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. He did enjoy a couple of years at Man City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford, wasn't he? Now, don't forget we was willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7 shirt, but obviously now Edison Cavani is our number 7. I'd take Sancho at the club, like I've said, because he's really good. Analysing the vast majority of his career with Dortmund, he's been consistent. And he's got a good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go in recent years. They let Christian Pulisic go, they let Aubameyang go, they let Ukwan Gundogan go, they let Mkhitaryan go, they let Ousmane Dembele go, they let Matt Hummels go, they let Robert Lewandowski go, they let Shinji Kagawa go at one point. So yeah, they've let quite a few of their players go. So that's the breaking news on Jadon Sancho. We've obviously been looking at a few alternatives to him. Now I'm going to delve into another topic. So I'm going to go through with you how Manchester United could line up against West Brom. On Saturday. Now, I think we're going to go with David De Gea in goal. Like I've said to you, David De Gea will remain our number one this season. David De Gea has really, really impressed me this season. I think at right back, we will go with Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, he's our first choice right back, and he's really impressed me recently. Wan-Bissaka, he showed some good attacking intent, and his defensive contributions being very, very good. The two centre halves, Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Got to say, Harry Maguire's impressed me recently. At left back, Alex Telles. Now, I've got some positive news regarding Alex Telles. According to UOL, that's a Brazilian outlet, they have said that Alex Telles is negative for coronavirus. So that means he can play on Saturday for Man United. But there was reports coming from Brazil on Saturday saying that Alex Telles had tested positive for coronavirus for a second time. Now, don't forget, he's already had the virus once. And obviously, he will be part of Brazil's squad for their trip to Uruguay. So yeah, he should be making his Premier League debut for the club on Saturday now, reflecting on this. He's only played one game for the football club so far, and that was our 2-1 win against PSG. So yeah, him at left back. Obviously, Luke Shaw's not available because he's out with a hamstring injury. Luke Shaw's out for up to a month. If Telles wouldn't have been available, then I think we would have gone with Brandon Williams at left back. Obviously now Brandon Williams is our third choice left back. Now the two holding midfielders, Fred and Scott McTominay. Fred has really, really impressed me recently. I like the way he's dictated the play. He's kept the ball well and he's showed very, very good attacking intent. McTominay, I still think there's aspects of his game that do need to improve. I've got some element of concerns about him still. Ahead of Fred and McTominay, I think we'll go with Bruno Fernandes. Like I said to you, Bruno Fernandes is undroppable, but so too is Fred. Bruno Fernandes is definitely Manchester United's best player. So I don't think Donny van der Beek will start the game on Saturday against West Brom. He should start because he's not yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club. Donny van der Beek recently revealed that Solskjaer told him to wait and he's got to be patient for his opportunities. But Donny van der Beek made an admission saying that he would have loved to have played more at Manchester United this season. Paul Pogba, he won't start against West Brom. Paul Pogba's been very, very inconsistent. I think, Solskjaer's making the right decision by keeping Paul Pogba out of the team. So, yeah. So, on the right-hand side now, we could go with Juan Mata. Juan Mata's played well in a lot of the games he's played in this season. Mason Greenwood could go with him if he's available. Don't forget we've had a few issues with Mason Greenwood this season. Don't forget we said we've got concerns that Mason Greenwood could throw his career away, like Ravel Morrison. And Eddie Boothroyd, the England under-21 manager, he confirmed why Mason Greenwood was left out of England's under-21 squad. That was due to injuries and personal issues. He was withdrawn from the England squad earlier on in the season with Phil Foden, Mason Greenwood. But yeah, he's having a lot of issues off the pitch. He really is. He didn't play any part in the Everton game because Solskjaer said he was out with illness. So will he be available for Saturday, Mason Greenwood? Because Solskjaer said he's had a few niggles and injuries. But yeah, if Mason Greenwood isn't available, then we'll probably go with Juan Mata on that right-hand side. There again, you could even put Donny van der Beek out wide, but I don't think he'll start. Now, the left-hand side possibly could be Daniel James. I hope it isn't, because Daniel James has been out of form, hasn't he? And he's actually now lost his place in the team. Obviously, Marcus Rashford has got a problem with his shoulder, so he may not be available for the game on Saturday against West Brom. I'm hopeful, though, that he can be available. You've got Anthony Martial now. He can also play out wide, but he's now got some back problems. And he had to train separately away from the France squad. I don't know how severe his back problems are, though, Anthony Martial's. So obviously, if Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford are not going to be available, then it's likely, Edinson Cavani will be starting at the weekend against West Brom. If Cavani does start on Saturday against West Brom, that will be his full Premier League debut for the football club. Now, don't forget, Edinson Cavani scored his first goal for Man United in our 3-1 win against Everton. He almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea, didn't he? We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day. Cavani signed a 2-year contract with the club worth around 230 grand a week, is it? And obviously he wears that number 7 shirt. But yeah, it could be James on the left and then Edinson Cavani up top if Martial and Rashford aren't available. But if Martial and Rashford were to be available, then it would probably be Rashford on the left and then Martial up top. So yeah, that's how Manchester United could line up against West Brom. We should be beating West Brom on Saturday because West Brom are a poor outfit. They haven't won a game yet in the Premier League this season. They are sitting 18th in the Premier League. I think they'll go back down. West Brom finished second last season in the Championship, and that's what got them to the Premier League. West Brom. Their current manager is Slaven Bilic. West Brom have had a few players out with injury. Sam Field's been out of injury. I think Matheus Pereira's been out of injury. Brains Lov Ivanovic has been out of injury. I think that Carmo, he's also been out of injury as well. I know a few of the other players they've got that Callum Robinson, they've got that Grada Diagana, they've got Carlin Grant, they've got Conor Gallagher, haven't they? They've also got that Dara O'Shea. The last time we played West Brom, we lost to them by 1-0. And that was at Old Trafford a couple of years ago now. We also lost to West Brom under the David Moyes era at Old Trafford by 2-1. But if we do beat West Brom, it will be our 4th win in the Premier League this season. And it will be our first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We've not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season, and it's been our worst start at Old Trafford for around 50 years. You know what I mean? We've got some other injuries, not only Luke Shaw, we've obviously got Eric Bailly out with a muscle injury. I think he's out for a few weeks. That's my only concern about Eric Bailly. He's far too injury prone. We've also got Jesse Lingard out with injury, but I heard he's close to returning. And we've also got Jones still out injured. he recently had an operation, didn't he? So there you go. But Ollie's under pressure at the football club, reflecting on our poor start to the season. Now we're sitting 14th in the Premier League, and we've registered just 10 points from our opening 7 games in the league so far. Solskjaer will stay at Manchester United for now, because Ed Woodward came out last week and said that Man United are fully committed to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer despite our poor start to the season. Now, there's obviously been talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming to Manchester United. He's been the favourite to take over, but I don't see Pochettino coming in now because Pochettino will not wait. There has been talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. You know, there's also been talks of Julian Nagelsmann coming in as well. You know, if we can win our next 5 or 6 games, then I think a lot more pressure will ease off Solskjaer. I really, really do. And I've already gone through with you what he should do at Manchester United. Now, he obviously needs to pick the right formation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gone a lot with a 4-2-3-1 formation since he got appointed in as Manchester United manager. But in a lot of our games, it hasn't really seemed to suit our standards. Like against the big teams, he's gone with a 3-5-2 and a few times he's gone with a 4-3-3. A lot of United fans want to see a diamond, don't they? Ollie's obviously got to identify his best 11 as well. I probably already know Manchester United's best 11. I did a video on that recently. You know, so there's a few things he's got to do, definitely, and there's obviously issues that he must solve at the club. You know, he must solve the Paul Pogba issue. Obviously, he's got to work out his best midfield, hasn't he? Now, you've got Fernandes and Fred that are undroppable, like I've said, but you've got Pogba, Matic, Van der Beek, and McTominay fighting for one position, and you know, it shouldn't be like that. Obviously, a lot of United fans will know that our best midfield would be Fernandes, Pogba and Van der Beek, but there's some people saying we can't play them all in our midfield because obviously they've got similarities and that. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've got to solve our home form because our home form's been very, very poor. You know, so there's a few things he has got to solve as Ollie. He's got to solve the issues with Greenwood as well. He's got to decide on, you know, who he's going to start, Martial or Cavani. There's other issues at the club as well. You know, there's been issues with the board for several years. You know, we've been demanding the board out for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. There's obviously issues with Ollie as well. You know, I still don't think he's good enough as Manchester United manager, despite the fact that he knows the club inside out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager, has he? Because before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and he enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated, did Ollie? Didn't he? You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. He's got a contract with the football club until 2022. Now, we appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And this is his second full season at the football club. Now, if Manchester United could finish in the top 4 this season, and if we could win a trophy, I think that would represent a good season for us. You know, like I've said to you, I think Manchester United need around 5 signings at least to win the Premier League title. Probably need around 2 more signings to compete for the title. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it now for like 8 years. Have we? Do you think, no, Manchester United can win a trophy this season? I think we can, you know. I think there's a good chance we could win the Carabao Cup. We're in to the quarterfinals of that. There's a good chance we could win the FA Cup. But I don't see us winning the Premier League, and we probably won't win the Champions League either. You know what I mean? But there's still things at the club that Solskjaer needs to work on. You know, don't get me wrong, I have taken positives from his tenure. You know, he's made some good signings since he got appointed in, and he's spent over £200 million, and he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows at the club. He showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games. We've also seen a lot of players leave since he got recommended in. I like the way he has promoted the youth. He did well in his first full season at the club last season because he got us qualification for the Champions League. Also got us 3rd place, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. So yeah, it's a bit late like that, isn't it? So yeah, like I said, there is positive to take from his tenure at the football club. But I think it won't solve a lot if we sacked Ollie. It really, really won't, because he's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. And Ollie's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era and that. By the way, we have spent exactly £1 billion in the last 7 years or so on players. We've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So that's just something I wanted to tell you. In the last 7 years or so, we haven't only spent £1 billion on players. You know, we've been so inconsistent. You know, we've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson left, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal, and the Europa League, the League Cup, and the Community Shield under Mourinho. That's it. But we haven't dominated English football since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, no manager at Man United, or no manager in general, will replicate Ferguson's legacy or last as long as Ferguson did. Ferguson endured 27 years at the club, and he won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. But since Ferguson retired, we've been inconsistent. And before Ferguson came into the equation, we was inconsistent as well. But I just think that Ollie needs more backing at the club, because he wasn't backed enough during the summer transfer window because we missed out on all of his priority targets. None of our managers, though, have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, have they? Let's be honest. But it's good that we're making plans for next year. You know, we're looking to make more signings. We're looking to get rid of more players because there is still deadwood in the squad. I think next year we'll be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones, Daniel James. Could sell Matic next year as well because he's lost his place in the team. We could even also sell Juan Mata, couldn't we? Brandon Williams, like I said, could be loaned out because he's now our 3rd choice left back. Igalo, I think he'll leave in January when his loan expires with the club. But like I've said to you time and time again, you know, Solskjaer is, you know, inheriting, you know, a lot of players even the Jose Mourinho era. You know, there's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era. There's 1 player here from the Moyes era. And there's only now 2 players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era, isn't there? So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.